Hello everyone, it's Adam, aka Hungarian Nerd. Today we're going to be talking about processes. Processes. And a process in Linux is anything that is doing something. That could be Firefox, that could be your email, that could be when you're typing in grep commands or ls commands. When you type in pwd for print working directory, that creates a process to give you the output of that command. And now it's almost like Linux is nothing but processes. That's all it is. There's a process here on this list, this one. And there's a row here called PID, and this is process ID. And that's the number of each process. So each process has its own number assigned to it. Process 1 is always the same process. It's always called init, which is initial or initializing. It's the initial process that starts Linux. When you press that on button on your computer, on the Linux console, to turn Linux on, and when it creates a little spark that sends the signal to the CPU that it's time to boot up for the first time. This is the first process that spawns. It's like the Big Bang of the universe. Okay? These are every single item in this list is like a star out there, or like a galaxy. And process 1, that's the Big Bang that started it all. That's the universe right here. And this is all the stuff that comes into the universe. Or another way to look at it is, this is like the main parent, like the mother of all processes. Because in Linux talk, like when you're talking about Linux and like the technical terms, is parent and child relationships, okay? So a parent is process 1. It will spawn process 2, okay? Now, process 2 has a purpose, and that is like the child of process 1. So, process 1 is the parent of process 2. Process 2 is the child of process 1. That's the parent. And now, process 2, the sole purpose of that process is just to spawn more processes. And that could be, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to like 222. And a lot of times, once that process has done its work, it is no longer needed, and then it dies off. So when the parent dies off, the children of that parent are now orphaned, and any orphaned process becomes adopted by process number 1. So any process, any child process that has a dead parent, which is a process that spawned that child process that died off, that process is now adopted by process 1, which is the mother of all processes. So that sounds kind of like brutal to talk about it. And, if you took it out of context, what I was saying, you'd be like, whoa, this guy's talking about orphans and children and their parents dying and becoming adopted. Like, that sounds pretty harsh, but that's just what just Linux processes. It sounds crazy, but that's how it works. So why is this important to know? Well, when you're troubleshooting applications, you gotta find things about that application. So let's say ps-augs, as you know, this searches processes. If you don't know that, then that means you didn't watch my last videos. But most of you know this already. So, ps-augs grep vim. So that's not a process that's running, but one that we've done in the past is mail, okay? So mail this is the process ID of mail. So if 3974, and if we go to htop, we can sort this by number. So 3974 right here, male. If this process is misbehaving, this process is a child of another process. And the owner of this process is the parent. So sometimes, if a process is misbehaving or not working properly, we can look to its parent to see maybe the parent malfunctioned when it deployed the process. And another thing that we can note here is we can see the owner of each process. So male, the owner is OxyMonster. And by the way, just a disclaimer, if you missed it in the last videos, OxyMonster is just a tribute username to the Darknet Diaries podcast. There's an episode called OxyMonster. If you haven't listened to it yet, I would highly encourage you to check it out. Really cool stuff. Anyways, back to the video. There are some other processes that have root as the owner. So if you were to change something about this process, you would have to most definitely use a sudo command to make that change because you don't own it. If I were to change something in male, then I might be able to get away with it if it's not a sudo command. And then here there's another owner that's postfix, which is something else that we're going to talk about in this course. There are some other kind of owners, syslog. As you can see, these are like grayed out names because these aren't users. These are just kind of other. So okay, let's write this out where you can see. Let's do a quick recap because this is a very complicated topic, and I understand that you might be like, "Whoa, what the hell are you talking about, Adam?" Okay, so processes. Processes is a program that runs. Okay, let's open this up in Nano. Nano, or let's do VI. Process.txt. Okay, so processes. A process is a program that runs, or a function. A process has two parts. One is the address space that it can use, where it can write to. Two is the kernel data structure following keeping the following information. And the information of this part is the PID, which is the process ID. And we saw that in that htop command where we were monitoring the processes earlier. Then there's the parent ID, which is the PID, the process ID of the process that started the current one. If the parent dies, then the child is reparented to init process, which is process 1, which is like our big bang process. The other thing we can see is the user ID, which it tells us which user owns the process. Same for group ID. Then we have the effective user ID, the EUID, which process spawned by user but shouldn't have same permissions as user. Same for effective group ID. Then the last thing it shows is the niceness. If niceness with 3 S's. If niceness is high, then it's low priority and lets lower niceness processes take resources. So this means if a process has a nice level of 10 and process 2 has nice level of 3, then process 2 isn't as nice as process 10 because it's a lower level. And because it's not as nice as process 10, whenever one of these two processes, let's say there's like 5 gigabytes of RAM left for processes on the system, and process 1 requires 5 gigabytes of RAM, and process 2 requires 5 gigabytes of RAM. Well, process 2 isn't going to give up its RAM because it's not that nice. But process 1 might give up its RAM to process 2 because it's nicer than process 2. So process 2 is going to take that RAM. Okay. Then we have the life cycle of a process. A process is created by a parent. And init is the mother of all parents and children. That's the top process, is how you call it. And then giving a child that starts other programs, processes, or giving child that starts other processes. Then we have the death of a process, which is exiting with return value given to parent process. And then the biggest thing to note is init. Init is started at kernel boot, runs all startup scripts, spawns all initial processes. So, okay, pretty crazy. Let's go ahead and semicolon WQ to save this. And let's go back into HTOP to look at this a bit more now. So at the bottom here, we have some different things. If I press F7, then I can lower the niceness level. And if I can press F8, then I could raise it. See, this one here has a niceness of -1. This has 0, and this has 1. Here, this one has a nice level of 19, and this one has -11. So -11 is lower than 19, so this one would get priority. And we have different options here. We could do increase the niceness or lower it, or we can kill the process. We can filter processes, search for them, and okay, great. So that's a lot of information to take in, and most of it is all theory. It's all theoretical. So if you would like to learn more about it, then I would highly encourage you to do so. It wouldn't hurt, but in our next lesson, we're going to be talking a bit more about processes, and it's going to be a bit more hands-on. See, this video was not hands-on, it was just me talking about stuff. But we're going to try sticking more to just the hands-on stuff where you can keep your hands on the keyboard, type in out the commands that you need to do some practice. So I'll see you guys on the next lesson.